Hey, Rifters, welcome to the show. Subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend. We hit 500 subscribers on YouTube. Yay! Congratulations, guys. We've been doing this podcast for 14 years. We finally got the 500 subscribers. It tells you it should be faster to get to 1,000. And you could help. By listening to this, you could just subscribe right now. Excellent. But keep it up on Apple Podcasts. That's more important in my eyes. But thank you guys so much for your support. Hey, I got a great guest. Shows are updated at keithreza.com. You could also book me on Cameo, stuff like that. But I'm very excited for this guest. I've been trying to get this guest for about 2 or 3 years, so I'm very, very excited. You've seen her on the Files, Alien. She's on a new Netflix show with Ted Danson called Man on the Inside, which is very, very funny. Um, she was in Invasion of the Body Snatchers. She's literally been in everything. Money Talks. Veronica Cartwright is going to be here via Zoom, and I'm very excited. So if you like this episode, subscribe, rate, review, tell a friend, click, click, click. And yeah, guys, enjoy Reza Rifts with Veronica Cartwright. Coming up next.
From Hollywood, California, welcome to Reza Rifts with your host, Keith Reza.
Hi, Veronica.
Hi there. How are you?
Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. I've been trying to get you for a while. So thank you. I appreciate the time.
I find myself whenever I do these things, I do watch one, then I look at the background to see what's the scoop in the background.
Oh yeah, I don't really have a background, but I like
You
your
don't, but I do,
like
and I don't want it to look too junky.
uh, I like your background. I like the
Okay.
painting behind.
Thank you. I got that in Santa Fe.
Oh, Santa Fe, New Mexico?
And it was weird because my husband and I were just driving around, and this guy had a sign outside. It was up in the canyons, and it said art sale. So we went in, and he did all these pieces of art, and that is looking down from his house onto the clouds and the city below. So that's
Oh,
what it is.
that's so awesome. Painting is one of those things that I wish that I could do, but I just was never very good at it. Yeah.
Oh,
So
well, we all have certain talents.
but I wanted to start off with Man on the Inside, and
Oh, isn't it fun?
it's so funny. Like you're so great in it. And
Oh, thank you.
I wanted to ask, like, how did that project like come on you like come on your lap and stuff?
Well, there was a request for an interview, and believe it or not, I mean, we used to always do in-person interviews, but they're not in person anymore. So
Right.
this was the rarity, and all of a sudden here was this in-person interview. It was so great, and it was pitch dark when we were going. I couldn't find the damn door, and it was like so weird. Everybody was having trouble because you had to walk from your car to where this interview was. But anyway, I went in. I auditioned for the part that Margaret Avery got, who's the black lady
Right.
in it. And that's who I auditioned for. And of course, I didn't get that. But then they called my agent and said, we just love her. We want her to be in this. And so they sent over these 2 lines. And I said, that's it. And they said, well, no, but you'll be our comic relief. There'll be more. You'll be our comic relief. So I said, okay. So I ended up doing those 5 episodes, and I had a ball, and couldn't have been nicer people. Just
Yeah.
it was great and fast and 4 cameras, and Ted's lovely, and it was just, I don't know, it was a great, fun experience. And I'm glad it got picked up for another season, but of course he's not going to be in the same
Who
way.
knows? You might, who knows, right? You
Something
might
else might happen and we'll be there, or I've moved to another location
exactly.
following him around.
But one of the things that I like about that show is the humor is so smart. You know what I mean? Like it's really crisp.
Well, that's at Michael Shore, and there's several writers, and they're just Morgan, and they did the other one. What was it? The place, the Perfect Place. The no, what was the one that Ted did before with Kristen Bell?
It was where he was the mayor, right?
it wasn't it, it's about afterlife, right? What
Oh,
was it? The Good Place.
The Good
The
Place,
Good
right?
Place, that's
Yeah,
it.
yeah.
So actually, all of the makeup department, all the crew were all from that show.
Oh, that's awesome.
So, I mean, I guess Ted's very loyal and the same with all the people though. So it was great. I just had a great time.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to ask you because you've been in this business for a long time. You've seen the wave of how humor and like changes. You know what I mean? Like humor in the '80s is probably not necessarily as funny as it is today, and then humor today is probably like it's going through. I wanted to ask.
right,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I mean, we might not have laughed at things before. I just watched that Saturday Night Live
Oh,
special. I mean,
yeah.
there were a couple of points I just killed myself laughing. That one with what's her name? Kristen Wiig and oh my God, and then Meryl Streep came in. Oh my God, I was killing myself. It was just so rude and it was wonderful. It was great.
Yeah.
How
I want.
fun.
I watched that too. That was great.
It was good, wasn't it? It was fun to do.
Yeah. But like for example, Scary Movie 2, I think is one of the funniest movies ever. And
Oh,
you have a great scene because you're singing in it. And
God, that was so ridiculous. I had to go and audition and go on tape. And it was in a building that was on Hollywood and Vine. And the building, of course, the acoustics were terrible. I mean, the walls were very thin.
yeah.
And I had to sing Hello Dolly. And then they go, okay, bigger, bigger. And then I guess Damon was on the other line or Keenan was. And
Kingdom
then he
Windsor.
goes, no, whatever it was, and they said, oh, they'd like to see it bigger. By the time I'm finished, I was like crazy. They said, oh, that's great. And I left, and there was a UPS man standing outside of the building, and he just looked at me as if I had lost my mind. I mean, it was hysterical, the look on his face. And
Yeah.
he just went, hi, and got in the elevator. I don't know what to do. God. And originally, Jimmy Wood's part was supposed to be by Brando, done by
Marlon
Brando.
Brando. Wow.
Yeah. And then Brando got sick. So then the whole thing was postponed for like a month or two and then they got Jimmy, who I had met Jimmy before. I mean, he's so great.
Oh yeah, he's great.
He's just, he's just so funny. I mean, the first time I met him was in an elevator and he goes, oh my gosh, Veronica Cart, oh, I love you. I love you. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is Jimmy Woods. And he goes, oh, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. And he starts going on. Then I am doing the Witches of Eastwick and I'm in the room and he comes in because he's got to have his hair dyed back to the color it was. And I'm in the makeup chair. And he goes, oh, Veronica Cartwright. It was like ridiculous. I thought, oh my God, now we ended up getting to work together. So that was really great.
Isn't that awesome though? Because
Yeah,
like it's
totally
a
cool.
small world, you know what I
I mean,
mean?
you do that to, not quite as big. He was like big. It was great.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, so I wanted to ask you like how do you play like on a spoof like that? Like do you watch the thing you're spoofing and play it like that or do you know you're trying to do it as a funny comedy?
Well, I mean, I saw Exorcist
Right, that's what I'm
many
at.
years before that, so I knew that whole thing. And of course, he gave that rolled up piece of paper, and I'm slapping her on the butt, going, "Bad girl, bad." She's standing there peeing. I
Uh,
mean, I mean, it was just you had to do it for real. I mean,
right.
and that silly song that we did, with
The
uh,
rap one? Yeah.
what what is it? Oh God, no, I'm like blanking. Forget yourself. No, do what you do with it, or what?
Yeah.
Shake
Shake
your
your
ass.
ass.
Show
Yeah.
me what you do with it. I
Uh,
mean, oh my God, that was hysterical. It was
uh,
so much fun. It was just a fun thing to do. And I
yeah,
had my little Ellen Burstyn wig on, and I don't know. You have to do it as if you're doing it for real. I mean, there's really no difference, and that's what makes it funny. I think if you're just doing it for real.
for sure. Yeah. Because I think that you're right. That complements the comedy is if you play it so real, You know what I mean? Like, because
Right,
you can make anything funny, even horror, and I think a lot of people, don't realize, like, everything is funny if you look deep down into it.
right. Well, yes. Of
Yeah.
course, the writing helps too.
Oh yeah, the writing definitely helps. But you brought up body Invasion of the Body Snatchers, which is one of the greatest films too. I wanted to know, like, how is that when you got that, because you worked with Donald Sutherland and Jeff Goldblum, and like when you work with these actors, do they teach you something on how, like, okay, Veronica, this is how you could bring it, and you take that advice and you bring it on your next project?
Well, I had just gotten back from doing Going South with
Uh-huh.
Nicholson, and I get this call to go on this interview out at MGM, and I went in to meet Bob Solo, and Phil Kaufman was Phil there? No, he wasn't there, but Bob Solo was there, and we just talked. I don't think I even auditioned. I mean, it wasn't like doing a
Wow.
scene or anything. It was just talking and stuff. And that was my first thing that I did with Phil Kaufman, who I adore. And so when I when we got it and we were doing the stuff, Donald decided that his character needed to have curly hair. And so we did everything with him in pink permanent rods, all our rehearsals, because he didn't want to have a perm. He was afraid it might ruin his hair.
Right.
So every morning and every afternoon at lunch, he had to have his hair set because we were up in San Francisco, and of course it's foggy, and it would start to get limp, and the poor hairdresser was in there, curling his hair all the time with the curling iron. Um, because and finally, like 3 weeks before the movie is over, he decides, all right, I'll have a perm. I mean, it was so ridiculous. So all of our rehearsals were him in pink permanent rods. So then when it came to that scene where we're talking about the monkeys and the apes and why do we have to think they all come in metal ships and stuff like that?
Right.
Well, I don't know. The scene was just very flat and we kept trying it and trying it. And I said to Phil, I feel like I need to have somebody talking over me so that I can get to the point where the final line comes out. I said, so can we just try if people are jumping on top? And so he says, well, sure, let's try that. So it was great. I mean, because Phil loves actors, and so he's totally open to that. And here's Donald on the background with his pink rollers. And So I just talked to Jeff and to Brooke, and I said, just jump in on me so that I can build up otherwise it's just so strained and I'm not getting there. And that's what we did, and that's what we ended up with, and it worked. But I was just having the hardest time getting there because there was no momentum to the scene. And so but a lot of directors, they have egos and they don't want to listen to that. So it was wonderful that Phil, he just says, all right, let's give it a try. I mean, he's not
Yeah.
bashful at all. It's just great. It was great.
Now, when you say directors have egos, would you say, like, now, like when you work with someone, like, because it seems like it's also about the style and stuff that they have, and you've worked with so many people that have different styles, so you kind of
Right.
could match it.
Well, um, well, it's interesting because, okay, Ridley Scott, when I did Alien, Ridley cast people that he knew, because none of us were famous at that point, but we'd all had a lot of experience. So, because Ridley didn't really direct us in a sense of feel this emotion or feel that emotion or let's
Yeah.
build up. Um, it's like when I go to slap Sigourney, every time I went to slap her, she would duck it. And so my direction was just fucking get her this time. I said, okay. So I went like this, she ducked, and I backhanded her, and like instant tears because she went straight into it. But
Right.
that was my direction, and it worked for the scene.
Yeah.
So I but those were like his directions, or he would say to Yaphet, piss her off, just piss her off. I
Right.
mean, and so, I mean, and yeah, Yaphet, I mean, he liked to improvise. So Yaphet he was hysterical. I mean, he just, and I loved Yaphet. We became really great friends. And so we would have lunch together a lot. And he was just a character and a great human being. So sad. So
Yeah.
yeah, that he's
I
gone. But
I would say Alien is also like first watched it, it was actually kind of very scary. And then it was like on the line of horror science fiction, which I kind of like
mm,
too. You know what I mean?
yeah, because it was horror, but I don't know when. Well, I mean, I read the script and went on the interview in Los Angeles and at 20th Century Fox.
Yeah.
And when I went on, the only part I ever read for was Ripley. So I assumed when I got it that I was going to be playing Ripley. And
Wow.
I happened to be going over to England because I used to go on occasion over. I'd save my money. I was a waitress and I'd save my money and then I would go over to England. And that's where my aunt was. I mean, my gran was and everything. And so I said, if that part's not gone, I'd like to go on and, see him again. So they set it up. And so who did I read for again? Was Ripley. So then I think too, it played into the fact that I'm British and I had a British passport. Although I'd lived in America a long time, I had an American accent. And you're allowed to have a quota system,
Yeah.
So there were only so many Americans that they could bring over. But having a British passport, I mean, even though they paid me as if I was an American, it was still for their purposes, I was British. So
Yeah.
so that gave them the leeway to bring over others. But then when I got over there, the wardrobe called me and told me I was supposed to go in and have my um, wardrobe for Lambert. I said, "Oh no, no, I'm Ripley." And they said, "No, you're Lambert." I said,
Change of plans.
"Don't think so." I said, I'll have to get back to you on that." So I called my agent in England, in America, and I said, "Aren't I playing Ripley?" And he said, "Yes." And I said, "Well, why do they think I'm Lambert?"
Wow.
So it was just so weird. So then I called up the producers and I said, "You know what? I haven't even read this script according to that character. All I can remember from just reading Ripley was that Lambert's kind of weepy all the time." And I said, "I don't really want to play that kind of a character." So I said, "Let me reread the script and see what I can come up with, you know. And yeah, there's weepy stuff, but at the same time, she's the only sensible one.
Oh yeah, she's the smartest one there, I think.
I mean, but nobody wants to listen to her, which is incredibly frustrating. And it was that movie was a difficult shoot. It was hard. It was very claustrophobic.
Oh yeah.
All the sets were connected. I mean, we just took over Shepherd in the studio, so every sound stage had a different thing. Like the space jockey was just on one sound stage, and we were crawling all over it. I mean, it was massive. And then when you got to the desert, that was like the front part of the ship, but there were caves. I mean, these things, these huge vaginas that were built. And I mean, and I don't know where they got all that sand, but boy, put a pair of moon boots on and try to walk through that. That's not the easiest thing in the world. It was heavy duty. And then John, once he gets the face hugger on him, we said, "Well, could we get a dummy to walk by?" "Oh, no, no, we couldn't have a dummy." And those things on your shoulders, they were actual,
Heavy.
football
Yeah.
things. They were like 50 pounds. And then you put that helmet on and they'd forgotten to give us any air holes. And the CO2 canisters were leaking and would be whizzing around with white stuff. And you're going, do you see white stuff? And yeah, what's that? And then boom, you were out. I mean, all three of us passed out at one point. I mean, it was ridiculous, but they
Yeah.
thought we were actors complaining. Poor Tom, about poor John, by the time he got to the end of the desert, you couldn't even see his face anymore. He was sweating so profusely inside. It was mind-boggling. It
Yeah.
was tough going. And then, of course, we had to carry his body all the way across and then go up that big lift that took us up to about 24 feet up in the air or higher, I don't know, 40 feet up in the air. And we're up there and I started to hyperventilate. And here's
Oh
Tom
my
trying to
God.
grab me with hockey gloves that were painted so they wouldn't bend. So he's trying to get me and I'm going like this. And he's going, help, help. But they didn't have any mics in there either. So nobody could hear us. It was just unbelievable.
Oh
It
my
was a
gosh.
tough, tough shoot. And then, of course, as the things started breaking down on the ship, they would have big canisters of glycerin and then pump it on you every day. So, oh my God, every speck
Oh.
of dust and dirt. And oh my God, were you grubby when you got home? It was gross.
Well, you got to think of the positive side though. Like, thank
Well, it
God.
worked for the movie. It worked
Ex
for the movie. So
uh,
that was positive side.
yeah, I was gonna say if you got that part, you would have been the one who got slapped.
Oh, oh, that's true. But I wouldn't have ducked. I would
Uh,
have gotten a double whammy. Um, anyway, so
so this might be a random question because you did this movie called Wisdom, which at the time Emilio Estevez was the youngest person to write, direct, and star in something, and
right.
and this is where like I'm talking about different styles of directing because like he's a young guy, like how and you've worked with so many other people. Like, did you ever like do you, that's what I'm trying to say is like the styles. Can you like kind of figure that
Well,
out?
Emilio was just, he was darling. He was just a total sweetheart. And Tom Skerritt played my husband in that.
Yeah.
And I have this whole scene that ended up getting cut out, but it was a scene on a telephone. And Emilio would sit there and he'd be bawling his eyes out by the end. I mean, he goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I mean, it just really got to me. I mean, he'd be like he was acting opposite you,
Yeah.
that was like his form of direction.
Yeah.
Um, it was like he was doing the other part with you. He would get so emotionally involved. He was charming, you're just lovely. And unfortunately, what's his name? Weinstein was on the set
Oh my gosh.
every day because he was the youngest and this was like his big break. And then Harvey used to just tell him things that he wanted. Must have been incredibly intimidating. And then one day, Harvey even brought his girlfriend who's
Oh my.
sitting there in a fucking chair. I mean, that makes it very, very difficult to do something, when it's like your first one that you're doing. And I remember running into him in an elevator once and he goes, "Have you ever forgiven me for?" I said, "It wasn't your fault. I mean, and what was I forgiving him for? He was lovely. He was a terrific director. It's just, it just Weinstein was just using,
He was on him, yeah.
he was on him all the time, which after a while, you don't, what are you going to do to Harvey Weinstein? Say, fuck off. Later years, you could say that, but not at that point.
Yeah, back then he was one of the most powerful people, right?
Absolutely.
Uh,
And I mean, it made it hard, I think, for Emilio, and who's lovely. And I've done conventions and people will bring in posters from that. They love that movie for
oh,
some.
it's a great movie, yeah.
I haven't seen it in years, but and Demi Moore, and look at her last night.
Oh yeah, that last night was the Oscars. I forgot
Last
about.
night was the Oscars. She didn't
Yeah.
win, was but she got her Golden Globe and she got a SAG award, so it was a little surprising.
do watching those shows like the Golden Globes or the Oscars, like can you handle it or can you just be like, oh, whatever? You know what I mean?
Oh no, I love watching them, and I get to vote not for the Golden Globes, but for Oscars and SAG and the Emmys. I get to vote for all of those things. So
Oh, that's awesome.
my votes were a little different. I mean, the people that I put up for nominations, but
Yeah,
I mean, I love this movie Lee with Kate Winslet, and I thought she was fantastic, but it wasn't even sort of recognized, which was a shame. And it
yeah,
was a whole story I didn't know about, you know. So
yeah.
things like that are really good.
You know what movie I saw, which was actually really good, but didn't get a lot of recognition, was Reagan. And I feel just by how the country is right now, maybe it didn't get a lot of support. I don't
But
know.
yeah, what was shocking that Sebastian Stan got nominated for the Apprentice. I mean, you know, considering what is going on, I thought he did a terrific job though.
Oh yeah,
And
definitely.
Jeremy Strong was just he was incredible. I mean, oh my God, he's so creepy. You know, as Roy Cohen. It was just terrific. So, you know, so yeah, but I don't know. I didn't see Reagan. I should see it. It was Dennis, right? Dennis
Yeah,
Quaid.
he was so good. Like once you see it, when you watch movies that like you totally think, "Oh my God, this isn't even the actor, this is actually the person."
Right,
I think that's fantastic, you know what I mean?
right.
So, yeah. But
Well, I'll have
you
to watch it. I have it. I mean, it comes up on Amazon and stuff like that. So yes, I will watch that.
you I think you would really dig it. Like his performance was really
Who played
phenomenal.
Nancy?
Penelope Ann Miller, and she did a great job too.
Oh, right. Oh God, nobody'd seen her for a long time. That's right,
Yeah.
Penelope Ann Miller. Yeah,
Yeah.
nobody'd seen her for a long time. That's right. I do need to watch it. So
Yeah. I interviewed her. She was a sweetheart. So, yeah,
good.
yeah. I wanted to ask you about like because you've done a lot of movies with Jack Nicholson too. Like, and
Three. I've
yeah,
done three, but Jack.
yeah. But like, so like totally changes like his roles too, and like when you're acting opposite that, like how does that like affect you when you're doing it?
Jack is one of the most generous actors I have ever worked with. I mean, he's incredible. And if he has to do off camera, he gets in the damn wardrobe.
Oh my
Even,
God.
you know, or he'll come in on his day off if you've got stuff that's supposed to be with him. He's unbelievable. And so I didn't get to going south is where I got to work with him, and you know it was so funny because I went on that interview at Paramount Studios, and it was the old part of Paramount where the corridors are very skinny, and so Jack comes out and he's got his jean jacket on. And he comes out and he goes, "Hi, I'm Jack." Like no shit. He goes, come on back into my office." I said, "Okay." I'm walking down the hall in front of him, and he goes, "Oh, I loved you in Inserts," which was, oh my God, this movie I did with Richard Dreyfuss and Bob Hoskins' first movie. And of course, you know, I'm naked half 9 minutes into the movie. I've taken all my clothes off because I'm a porno queen junkie.
Right.
And I thought, oh my God, I blushed. I mean, I think I was this color. And he says to me, he goes, "Oh, I love a woman who blushes." I thought, which was even worse. I mean, it was God, I was a mess.
Oh
But
my.
the interview was great and it was fun. And then he took my picture and he put it up on the wall and he goes, "Well, you're a member of my gang." And that was, you know, and Danny DeVito was up there and Chris Lloyd and all these guys from Cuckoo's Nest. It was just great. And
Oh,
so of course I called my agent when I got in the car and I said, "Oh, Jack Nicholson says I'm going to be in his new movie." And he goes, "Oh yeah, well, they all tell you that. We'll see." So like 2 months later, they called and said, "You're off to Durango, Mexico." And there I was being Hermione.
yeah. Oh my
Oh, it
God.
was just great. I had a great time. And then he is the one apparently who suggested to George Miller that he meet me for The Witches of Eastwick because he always felt that the character was a contemporary. She's like the fourth witch
Yeah,
because
yeah.
she knows that he's the devil. And of course, she's trying to tell the girls, but of course, he doesn't want that. So all this manipulation to make me look like I'm a nut job. Oh, what a part. Those parts just don't come along. And oh my God, I had so much fun. I just loved it.
I feel like
And
those parts don't come along like now too. Like,
yeah, I mean, they're just a rarity. And to be able to get something like that was just, it was thrilling. And I went to, they had me fly into Boston to meet with George Miller. And I got to read with Richard Jenkins, who ended up playing my husband in the movie, who
he's
is,
great. Yeah.
is just a dream. And so there were two scenes. It was the snowy egret scene, where will they nest? And the the cherry pit scene at the end. So I said, well, how far do you want to see me go on this? Oh, we'd like to see it. Oh, okay. Well, I did. I started throwing up well, I didn't throw up, but I mean, I started gagging and doing all of that. That when I didn't know this, but after I left, they both looked at each other and went, shit, because everybody else had said, well, I'll do when I get to that part. And, once I get the part, I'll do that. You were the only one who went all the way out. You did it. So it was a great part. Oh my God, she was so wonderful.
Yeah.
I mean, I always remember it was very sweet. Charles Champlin, he was a reviewer. He wrote that I should get nominated, but I won't because I throw up in a movie. How many
Did,
times have you seen people throw up now? At that time, I guess it was a rarity, but and then, and Jeff Bridges, God bless him, he wins mm, an Oscar for throwing up about every 5 minutes in his movie.
that's true. Yeah.
But
I,
I guess at the time, you didn't see it.
I wanted to ask you, like, because when you started, there was a difference between movie star and then being a television star, where, like, if you did movies, you were kind of frowned upon if you do TV shows or whatever. And then if you do TV shows, you were kind of like trying to do movies, but now it's totally changed. Like,
Oh, it's totally changed.
yeah,
Totally changed. I mean, how many things has Al Pacino done for TV? I mean,
exactly.
lots of people are doing TV now. I mean, there was a sort of a stigma at one point. I mean,
Yeah,
of course, I started out in TV, and then I've done a lot of TV stuff in between, but now it doesn't make any difference.
yeah. So I was gonna say, because I would say you were like one of the originals who was doing both of them. You know what I mean?
Oh, well, thanks.
Yeah.
That's good.
I saw you in
Well,
X
that's the
Files.
interviews I've just been on.
I will. I will tweet it. Yeah. But
Get her
but
apart. She needs it. Uh,
uh, um
Now
s-
it's hard too because you have to go on tape for everything.
yeah.
Doesn't matter who you are, you have to go on tape, which makes it so much more difficult. I mean, the one part that I got was as you said, the man on the inside. That was an in-person interview. It was
Yeah.
great. They could say, oh, try this and try that. And you did. And you could ask questions, but when you're just deciding on your own about a part and then you go, and I have a guy that I do my stuff with, and he's terrific because he's an actor too, but it makes it so much more difficult because you don't know what they're looking for.
Exactly. And there's more energy in person.
Totally different. But I know people love doing tapes, but no, give me an in-person any day.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. I wanted to do this in person, but I didn't. I live far. I live in
Where do
Huntington
you?
Beach. I live in Huntington Beach.
Oh,
So,
Huntington Beach isn't that far.
oh, okay. All right.
I
Well,
mean, we could have done something. There's little studios around here. We could have met up.
oh, we should have. We'll do that for next time. I wanted to respect your time, but I have three more questions. Is it okay if I ask these real fast?
Sure, sure.
Okay. So you did an episode of, and I don't remember this because I haven't seen it in a long time, but I also know the internet lies about what people have done and stuff. But it says you did an episode of American Gothic, which was
I did. I did.
one of my
Did you
favorite.
watch that show?
Oh, my favorite actor was like the star in that show.
Oh, Gary Cole?
No, his name's Jake Weber.
Oh, yes, Jake Weber. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jake
So
Weber. Um, oh, yes. And it was a really big part. And they gave me some sides. And then, oh God, when I got there, I did the wardrobe and stuff like that. And Jake Weber actually says to me, "Don't worry about it. Just you'll get a script sometime about 2 or 3 in the morning, and of what the scenes are going to be for today. So just don't worry about it. Go to bed and get a good night's sleep." I thought, oh my God, thank God I'd sort of memorized those things. There was nothing alike. So when I went, I said, "Is it possible that we could do these?" Because there were 3 scenes at the hospital. I said, "Could we do them in order? That would make it a hell of a lot easier." Because I mean, you were just, going out there and doing it. But it was the one where I was the older woman who was in love with the Gary Cole character. And
Right.
there was another woman, and I tried to shoot her or something like that. Or him. Who was it? Who was I shooting? Was it another woman?
I haven't seen it in a long time,
Oh,
but
yeah, as apparently it was just on, I just got a residual. Um, I know, I go, oh, they're still running that. Um, yeah, boy, that was a fun show to do, but boy, you had to be on your toes. So that was really exciting. I like that stuff. And we shot that in North Carolina, North Carolina. And it was in this Coppola Studios and
wow.
around that area. And of course, which is right next to an airport, which makes it a little difficult. It's very strange.
Yeah. Well, I gotta rewatch it because, like I said, that was my favorite show growing up. And I've interviewed Jake, and one thing I like about Jake is he told me he was like, I whenever I do a movie or a TV show, I have no desire to be a movie star. I just want to be Jake Weber. And
Oh, really?
I thought that's like the best advice ever because when you're on TV, people kind of want like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, but there's really no difference between TV and doing a movie, except one
Yeah,
take is longer, they give you more time. Except sometimes you do these movies like that movie Inserts I was talking about. We did that in England. We did it in 14 days. We had 3 weeks rehearsal and we shot it like a play.
yeah.
So I don't know if you've ever seen that movie.
I haven't, but
Oh, you should.
yeah,
It's really a wonderful movie.
yeah.
It's on Amazon, I believe. You can get it
Oh,
on Amazon.
uh,
Plus, there's so many little movies that you do that people should really see, like Sparkler. I don't know if you ever saw Sparkler with
n-
Park Overall and Freddie Prince Jr. and
yeah. I
and
let Freddie Prince. Is his dad was a comic. Uh,
right,
yeah,
right. Yeah, but I mean, Freddie was what, 6 months old when he died.
right.
Um, but it's a darling movie. It's on Amazon. It's so much fun. And Sandy Martin's in it and Jamie Kennedy.
Oh,
And
Jamie's one of my best friends.
oh, he is?
Yeah,
And
I
you've
love.
never seen Sparkler?
No, I maybe I should.
You
Yeah,
should. I mean, Jamie's hysterical. Oh,
yeah.
oh yeah. Oh, you should watch it. I'm a stripper. And yeah. It was fun. It was so much fun to do. It was a great part. Really
uh,
good. So
Well, I wanted to ask because I haven't seen anything about, but I saw the poster of it and it looks really cool. But I don't know if it's like if you're even available to talk about yet. Can you talk about how to talk to spirits, or is that
when
something?
how to talk to oh, you know what? We never made it.
Oh, you never made it?
No, no,
Oh my God!
no. I had long talks with the lady that wrote the book, and no, we never shot it.
Oh my
A
gosh!
shame. They never got the money together to do it.
False advertising then because they have you on a poster with the.
Oh yeah, they did all of that stuff, but we never shot it.
Oh my
I
gosh!
guess they never was able to raise the money to do it. So there
Well,
you
let's raise the money and let's do it.
have. Yes.
uh, my last question for you, because I want to respect your time, is if you could go into a time machine and talk to a younger version of yourself, it could be from yesterday or when you were a kid or whatever, what advice would you tell yourself what you know now?
I, you know, I don't know because I was so fortunate to I I loved acting. That's what I wanted to do. So um and when I did the children's hour with Shirley MacLaine, we weren't supposed to be around Shirley because she used bad language. I was 11. But they brought me in for wardrobe fitting, and she was having her wardrobe fitting, and she was like on a sort of a circular pedestal thing, and she just sort of had to slowly turn around. And of course, she was cracking jokes with the crew and everything like that. And I remember thinking at the time, oh, this is what you've got to be. You've got to be, everybody's inclusive. Everybody is, and I think I did a really good job of when I grew up of being able to do that. I mean, the
Yeah.
crew is like one of the most important parts of a performance. And your DP and all of those people, they're all there to help you.
Yeah.
And so I don't think I could give myself any advice about that. I think I did a really good job of keeping true to myself that way. And Shirley MacLaine was this huge influence over me. I have a huge big breakdown scene in that. And it was just, they kept pushing me and pushing me until I like totally flipped out. And Shirley was there and she was hugging me and you were wonderful, honey. And she was get her dressing room, and she was just terrific. And then I had this dream one day when I was much older of walking. It was in Las Vegas, and I remember walking along the swimming pool because she was at the other end of the pool,
Right.
and just going and telling her what a major influence she had been on my career and me. And she was doing a one-woman show, and I was doing a play that we had done at the Mark Taper Forum, and then we took it to the Doolittle, which the Center Theater Group had bought, what I think is now the Montalban Theater.
Hmm.
But it was closed we had to close one night for the Christmas parade. So I thought, well, I'm going to go see Shirley MacLaine. So I went and I saw Shirley MacLaine on Wilshire Boulevard in her one-woman show. And then afterwards, I went backstage and I said, can I please have a word with Shirley? I worked with her when I was 11, but in the children's hour. So he went, and next thing I know, they said, sure, come on back. And as I went back, Shirley's standing there and she goes, I have followed your career. And I went,
Oh my God.
my God, it was so thrilling. And I haven't seen her since.
Yeah.
And I would love to have done a third version of that movie where I could have played her part, and but that never happened. William Wyler passed, but
Yeah.
what a
Well, what a cool story you have.
totally cool. And so it's hard for me to tell my younger self anything. I mean, I guess instinctually what I would be doing was listening,
Right.
and you have to listen and just, you know, go with what's happening there in a scene. And I decided I wasn't working for a while. There was a very slow period, so I went and studied with Jack Garfine, who was part of the original group theater. Um, Strasberg and him, and so I studied with Jack for about 3 years,
Yeah.
and then I went and I did some improvisational theater with Viola Spolin's group and worked with Stephen Book. And then I decided, okay, still not working. I'm going to go over to England. And so I packed my bags and moved over for a year, and ended up getting that movie Inserts with Richard
Ah,
Dreyfuss. And so, I mean, it's what I've always wanted to do. So by hook or by crook, I was gonna make it happen. So,
yeah.
and
Well,
that's all you can do is just, persevere. If you find something you love, you just make it happen one way or the other.
yeah. It's kind of like how I've wanted to interview you for so long. I just keep bugging. Uh, Veronica,
And then you
thank.
forgot to give me the number I was supposed to call in on. Uh,
I'm sorry.
no, that's okay. So,
Veronica,
yeah, maybe next time we can meet in person. If you're only in Huntington Beach, it's not that far from Los Angeles.
that would be great.
Okay?
Thank you so much for saying yes. I really appreciate it, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you. You too.
All right.
All right. Bye.
Bye, guys. All right, guys. That was the episode with Veronica Cartwright. Subscribe, rate, review, and we'll see you guys next week on Reza Rifts.